Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now today's video is going to be a selection of highlight clips from the past couple of days, and I've gotten some really awesome trophies that I cannot wait to share with you guys. However, I wanted to start off this video by sharing with you guys a post that EW have just put on their social media platforms, basically addressing a letter that was written to them recently by a number of community members, all about basically the delay with Rancho coming to consoles. And I know how bad that delay sucks. I was on console until recently, and yeah, it really does suck. So hopefully that will be coming soon, but I really just wanted to start off by reading you their response so that you guys basically know about that if you play on console or are just interested in what they have said to that. So it says, "To our community, we're reaching out to you all today in response to a well-written letter that was composed to voice the collective feedback on behalf of many of our fellow members. Its contents shed light on a number of issues we need to acknowledge and improve upon. The community's passion for the hunter, the call of the wild, is more than we could ever have imagined, and the acknowledgement for the care and well-being of our staff is heartwarming to say the least. The fact that we haven't always repaid this dedication and kindness with the clarity or level of communication you deserve is something we can only begin to apologise for. As was rightly mentioned, actions speak louder than words. We need to be better, starting with the way we communicate. Of course, we can't always share every aspect of the development process and status. We do want to share more, do more, and ultimately bring our developers and community closer together. The goal of our development team is and has always been to deliver immersive and exciting quality content for our players. And while our intentions are always genuine, we hold ourselves accountable to the fact that we haven't been able to completely deliver on these promises. Our latest release, Rancho del Arroyo, is no exception. Despite our best efforts to release simultaneously across all platforms, we face the same problems as our previous reserve release and the one before that. We get how frustrating this is to our community of players. The whole team at Expansive Worlds is equally frustrated that we haven't delivered on our goal to sim ship and deliver reliable updates to the game, and we are putting specific measures in place over the coming weeks and months to solve these issues. We genuinely appreciate the time and thought behind this letter and hope that while this response doesn't solve any of the issues mentioned above, it does provide some insight into the decisions and events that led to this point. To put our actions into words, we will come back to you next week with an update on the release date for Rancho del Arroyo on consoles, along with the patch on PC. From myself and the whole Expansive Worlds leadership team, thanks again for taking the time to give us this feedback. You have been heard." And that was from Sasha, the product owner. So I think that that's a really positive step forward. They are acknowledging all of the stuff that's been put forward to them by members of the community who aren't happy with the way that they have communicated about the delays for the release for console. And of course, with the certification issues that Microsoft and Sony have for the consoles, that it's not, everything isn't their fault with that, and it is kind of difficult for them to basically explain that they can't make Sony and Microsoft certify it any quicker sort of for consoles. But then there's been a lot of basically unrest about the console release. I've seen it from many members of the community via their Facebook group and various other posts. I get constantly asked on my social media, do I know when Rancho's coming to console? Because I'm such an active player of this game, people thinking that I might know. And of course, I don't have that information. I'm not part of EW, and I can't, shed any light onto that. And I think the fact that they are acknowledging the fact that they haven't been perhaps as open as they could have been and haven't communicated as clearly as they should have is a really positive step forward. And I think it's a really, really good thing that they've actually responded like that. So I will be very interested to hear when the Rancho release is for consoles. Of course, I will talk about it on this channel straight away, as I always do. So hopefully that will be for you guys soon. I know how frustrating it is, and honestly, I'm glad that I moved from console to PC, because I would have been so frustrated with this wait, because, yeah, I really enjoy Rancho, and I can really sympathise with you guys that really, really, really want to play it. So hopefully that'll all be resolved now that has been sort of talked about a little bit more. I hope that you know, I read that clearly enough for you guys, and I hope that you understand sort of how I feel about it. I want you guys to get it as quickly as possible. I'm always saying, fingers crossed that everyone gets the release at the same time. That would always be the best thing. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys that little bit of an update before we head onto the trophies video. Because I think when you're, someone like me who's posting videos about playing the game all the time, that you do need to talk about stuff like this when it comes up, and what's happening, and try and keep people that might come to your channel for this kind of information up to date. So I hope that I managed to do that in some small way, hopefully. But yeah, now let's get on to the trophies portion of this video, which I've been so excited to share with you guys over the past couple of days. So the first clip is here on Vahonga, and I got here just at the end of the warthog's feeding time, and I spotted what I was fairly sure was a red warthog in the distance. And after picking up its track there and seeing its disturbed veg, it was in fact a red female. Now, red is one of the only rares for warthog. You have red and albino, there's only the two. And I do have a couple of each. However, I can never really turn down getting a rare warthog. They're just quite cool. And I spent a long time looking for a red warthog. So for me, I can just never turn down shooting multiple of something I spent ages looking for. And I have started working on a second trophy lodge for animals that I have multiple of the same trophy for. And this was an ideal candidate for that. But you can see this female here running off, and she stands out quite well. I took that shot as I knew that it was only a female, and at worst, if I wounded it and didn't get the full score, it wasn't really going to matter too much. But I actually managed to absolutely smoke her while she was running, which is something I wasn't expecting to do at all. I think from shooting so many running whitetail from doing the Great One grind, I have gotten a lot better at actually judging where I need to lead a shot in order to drop a running animal. But you can see her here on the ground, and they're a really cool looking rare. You don't see an awful lot of them. This is my third one ever. But you can see absolutely blew out 90% of her organs. You've got intestines all the way through to one of the lungs. So yeah, she didn't stand a chance. But a nice little female red warthog to go into either the first trophy lodge, if she was slightly bigger than one of the ones I already had, or into the secondary trophy lodge. So I'm always happy to take down one of these guys. Like I said, they are quite a rare. I spent ages looking for one. And now moving on to a clip from Rancho del Arroyo. I was here hopefully looking for a rare Rio Grande turkey or another diamond pheasant, but I came across something that I've seen now a couple of times here on Rancho, and that is a level 5 bighorn sheep. And I knew that he was a level 5 before I even spotted him. There was just no mistaking those horns. And with an estimate like that, I was pretty confident he would make diamond. Just an absolutely huge looking ram. And I have had so much more luck with getting like diamond bighorn sheep and max level bighorn sheep on Rancho. However, I have yet to see an albino bighorn sheep, which is one of the trophies I'm really specifically looking for from this map, because I had a couple of albinos on Xbox, and again, I really want to sort of catch back up to the number of trophies I had on Xbox, like bighorn sheep, albino, and stuff like that. I want to sort of get those ones back into my PC Trophy Lodge, because I feel like my PC Trophy Lodge has very much overtaken my Xbox Lodge now, with having like 4 great ones and several rare male lions and so many cool things that I never had on Xbox. But I still want to get those trophies that I had on there, because there's a few that I only got on Xbox that were really, really special to me, like my albino lion and, like I said, albino bighorn sheep, because they just look really cool. Now, I wouldn't even be particularly bothered about getting an albino female bighorn sheep, just want to get an example of one to go in one of the trophy lodges. I waited until he gave me a shot that I was comfortable with, and when he was walking straight at me, I was fairly confident on going for a heart shot, and that's what I did, and I absolutely floored him. And just looking at the size of him on the ground was just so impressive. And yep, picking him up, he is a diamond at 166. So not my biggest one, not one to go into the main trophy lodge. This will be a secondary trophy lodge edition, but a really nice animal nonetheless. I never get tired of taking down big diamond bighorn sheep. They just look awesome. I know that they're not entirely very realistic. I have said this before. You know, they're not like classics bighorn, which are a bit more realistic, but they still look awesome. Now moving on to a clip from Silver Ridge Peaks, and actually it's quite a nice tie-in because this is an animal that you will find on both Silver Ridge Peaks and Rancho del Arroyo. I was coming straight from an outpost and I spotted this monstrous looking level 5 mule deer. And there was just no mistaking him before I even spotted him that was a level 5. And as soon as I got the actual highlight on him, I could see that was one of the racks I didn't have. So this was going to be my third diamond mule deer with a different rack. I know that this rack makes diamond. I've seen it so many times, and that's a really good estimate as well. So I wanted to make sure I made a really good shot on this monster buck. And just looking at him through the scope, that is one of the most impressive sights I have ever seen in this game. For some reason, this guy just looked just bigger than any of the other diamond mule deer I've shot. He just is a monster. And I can only imagine if we do get a Great One mule deer, what that thing is gonna look like. Because this gave me, I've shot many diamond mule deer now, but this got my heart going, just seeing this giant buck. And I really liked the look of his rack. I thought, that's going to look really cool in the trophy lodge. The tip-to-tip spread was insane. So you can see I'm being a little bit cautious here with the shot, just because I wanted to make sure I nailed it. I wanted this thing in my trophy lodge I wanted it next to my other ones so that you could have the different racks displayed side by side. However, he died in a bush, which was a bit sad. There was no real way to get any good pictures, and I kind of had to crouch down to get a clear background for the trophy shot. But look at the size of this. A 328.10 diamond mule deer. His antlers are so big, I can't even get him in the true rack, screen. There's just huge. The antlers just look insanely huge in this screen. And oh, they're just one of the coolest diamonds in this game. The size of the antlers compared to the size of the body, I think, is the thing that does it. But if you can imagine something like that with more mass and more tines for a great one, it's going to be insane. Now, moving on to a clip from Vahonga that I have been so excited to share with you guys. This is something that I really wasn't expecting to see, and this has a bit of a story behind it too. That is a legendary side-striped jackal. Now, the last time I saw a legendary side-striped jackal, it was in this exact spot in multiplayer. And unfortunately, I took a shot, which I don't know whether it was a phantom bullet or an invisible piece of brush, but whatever it was, my shot never hit the jackal. And then it ran and it ran and it ran, and the host left the session and it terminated the entire session, so there was no way I could get that jackal. And unfortunately, that meant I never found out if it was a diamond, and that was the last time I saw a legendary jackal. And as I ran down to this spot, I was thinking, oh, how brilliant would it be to see a legendary jackal, and then boom, one pops up in the exact same spot. I don't know what kind of redemption this game had for me at this point, seeing that legendary jackal there, but my heart was going so fast because I wanted to make sure I got this thing dead. And you'll notice throughout this that my frame rate was absolutely awful. The frame rate on Vahonga and Medved since the Rancho update has been just not good. Sometimes it's okay, but this was one of the times where it really wasn't okay. So I might even have to mute some of the audio for this clip, or at least turn it down a little bit, more than some of the others. I'll have to check afterwards to see what the audio was actually like. But if you notice how framey it is and stuff, unfortunately that's not on my end. That is, a thing that's happened with this map since the update. There's nothing I could do about it. But I absolutely had to show this clip to you guys of this just gorgeous legendary jackal. And I was so desperate to get him down before he spooked again, because there's lions drinking. Lions and jackal drink at the same time, and of course the lions spook the jackal. and that's what he was initially fleeing from, was a lion. And in fact, that's what I'd come to this spot for, to look for, was an albino lion or another rare female lion, because that's one of the things, like I said, is I'm going for that at the minute. But honestly, this was the best thing I could have seen. And I managed to drop him there with a heart shot. And just running around this lake to actually claim him took so long because of the frames. And then I pick him up, and he is an absolute monster. Max weight, 30.80 scoring, legendary Jackal. And you can see they make diamond at 29.10. So this guy is absolutely huge. I cannot believe it. Like, to get this guy in the spot where I lost my last legendary Jackal because of the session getting terminated, it's just crazy. Like I said, what kind of redemption game? This is amazing. And I'm just so thrilled because I really wanted one of these guys for the trophy lodge. And it's funny because this was not the spot I was expecting to get one. I've been looking at a spot recently where I get a lot of Jackal drinking. It's where I got the 2 melanistics in one pack. And I was expecting to maybe see one down there, but just not here in that kind of circumstance. Now, moving on, we have 2 clips of very similar animals that I think were on the same day, if I remember correctly. And as you'll have seen there, I'm spotting a legendary Puma here on Parque Fernando. Now, I don't always include things like legendary Puma and mountain lion because they are a couple of the more common diamonds. However, you guys may remember that until recently, I was having such struggle with finding any legendary Puma or mountain lion on PC. And then I got these 2 within not very long of each other, which was just absolutely crazy. So the first one was this one here on Parque Fernando, as you can see, this absolutely beautiful legendary Puma. And it did just make diamond, right on diamond requirement. Not a monster, but again, a diamond Puma is a nice animal to have, and I will always take a max level animal when it is just out there for me to take. And I really do like the Puma. I think they're really, really nice looking animals. Just a really beautiful looking big cat. And now, like I mentioned, I got these 2 clips within, I think it was only within a couple of hours of each other, honestly. And I was then on Silver Ridge Peaks, and I came to this spot where I got my last legendary mountain lion. And I can't believe how this game works sometimes, because I came here and I didn't see anything initially, and then what I spotted was another legendary mountain lion in the exact same drink zone as it had, has the previous legendary mountain lion I'd found on someone else's map. So again, this game works in crazy ways, but this spot almost seems to be pretty much always unchecked for mountain lions during their drink time. So I come down here hoping to try and get a melanistic, because that's something I'd really like to get for the trophy lodge again. But what greeted me was a legendary, and like I said, I can't resist taking a shot at a max level animal. And I took this shot, and nothing happened. I still can't, fathom what that was, other than it has to have been a phantom bullet, because that should have hit that Puma. Even if it wasn't a great shot, it would have hit it for sure. So I really don't know what happened there. But the second shot, as you can see, was good, and it brought him down nicely. And this guy also made diamond with the exact same trophy rating of 39. So again, this game works in crazy ways, but you can see that nothing happened with that first shot. It did not hit the Puma, the mountain lion, I should say, at all. But the Puma and the mountain lion are basically the same animal, just different names based on their location in the world and, of course, on the world map for Call of the Wild. Now, I decided that I was going to go to Leighton Lakes and try again to look for a rare blacktail buck or Roosevelt elk bull. And behind this huge herd of whitetail, I spotted what I could see was just some white, and I knew immediately it was a piebald blacktail buck, and a decent sized one being a level 3. And it was so exciting. The only rare blacktail I'd had on PC until this point was a piebald doe, and I really wanted a piebald or albino or melanistic male so that I could do the multi-mount with my albino Puma. And I really like the piebald blacktail. I know they're the most common rare for blacktail, but I think they look really beautiful. And this server had a little bit of lag. I tried to claim some other animals and it wasn't going so well. So when I actually managed to claim this guy, I was really lucky thinking about it, you know, because I tried to claim those animals afterwards, and it could have happened that I wasn't going to be able to claim this. So I'm really, 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 really glad that I got to claim this and put him in my trophy lodge. And a nice looking level 3, decent amount of mass, which is something I like with the blacktail. I don't like it when their antlers are very thin. And now to my absolute favourite clip of this entire video, and something I have been so excited to share with you guys. That right there on screen is a level 2 male albino musk deer. I almost didn't stay in this session. I joined this session, I looked on the map, there was like 4 players on the lake above me on the map, and they had blown out the area with hunting pressure. So I decided, seeing as I spawned in right by this tiny little pond, that because it's normally a really good spot for musk deer, brown bear and reindeer, I'd just have a quick glass around. And a bear moved, and this guy got revealed. This is a trophy I have been looking for in Call of the Wild since I knew that they existed. These are a very rare and an exceptionally cool rare. Like, to get a snow white animal on a snow map is just the coolest thing. And for it to be a male with, you know, a decent size as well, I'm just over the moon. I've just been so excited to share this, guys, because I've been looking for one forever, and I couldn't believe that I actually saw one. And in this session where I almost didn't stay because of how much hunting was going on above me, and I didn't kind of want to get caught up in any of that, or, you know, anything, because there was clearly some crazy stuff going on with the amount of animals that were getting slaughtered not very far away from here. But I took a couple of pictures of him on the ground, and as you can see, he is a little silver albino male musk deer. That is honestly one of the coolest things I've ever harvested in this game in terms of rares, and it's really up there to like being one of my favourite all-time trophies. I am so happy to have one of these guys. That is going to be it for this video though, guys, so thank you so very much for watching, and again, thank you for all the support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.